Sophia stood in front of the small, cracked mirror in her bedroom, adjusting the hem of her navy blue dress. It wasn't designer, nor even new, just a carefully ironed second-hand piece she'd bought at a thrift store. But with a touch of mascara, a swipe of lipstick, and her long brown hair pinned into soft curls, she looked presentable. Almost like the woman she used to be before her life had changed forever. Still, her stomach twisted with nerves. This wasn't just any evening. Tonight, she was going to a party filled with people who lived in a different universe, the wealthy, glamorous circle of CEOs, socialites, and business tycoons. And somewhere in that universe was the man she'd tried so hard to forget. Behind her, the gentle cooing of her 6-month-old son filled the room. Sophia turned, her gaze softening at the sight of Ethan in his crib. His chubby fists waved in the air, and his hazel eyes, the same ones that often reminded her of someone she didn't dare name, sparkled with innocence. Sophia leaned down, pressing a kiss to his soft forehead. "I don't want to go either, baby," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "But Mia's right, maybe this is my chance to breathe a little. Just for tonight." The truth was, she didn't care for parties or glittering halls filled with champagne and silk gowns. She only agreed because Mia, her only real friend and lifeline since Ethan's birth, had insisted. "Sophia, you need a night for yourself. You've been working 2 jobs, no sleep, no fun. Come with me. You don't have to impress anyone. Just remember you're still you." But Mia didn't know the whole truth. She didn't know that the party was hosted by Blackwood Enterprises, or that the CEO of that empire was Adrian Blackwood, the man Sophia had once given her heart to, and the man who didn't know he had a son. Sophia had met Adrian during her short-lived internship at his company. Back then, she had been ambitious, eager to prove herself. Adrian had noticed her work ethic, her quiet brilliance, and the sparks between them had been undeniable. Late nights working together had turned into something else, something unforgettable. But Adrian left for an overseas expansion the very next week, consumed by his empire, and Sophia had discovered she was pregnant soon after. She never told him. How could she? He was untouchable, wealthy, and powerful. She was just an intern, a nobody. Telling him would have only ended in humiliation, or worse, indifference. So she kept the secret, choosing to raise Ethan on her own. A knock at the door broke her thoughts. "Soph, you ready?" Mia's cheerful voice called. Sophia quickly gathered her purse and walked to the door. Mia stood there, radiant in a crimson gown, her black curls bouncing over her shoulders. But her eyes softened when they flicked to Ethan in the crib. "I'll watch him while you get ready for the car," Mia said gently. "Don't worry, he'll be fine. Just go have fun." Sophia hesitated, her hand lingering on the crib rail. "If he fusses too much, call me. I'll come home immediately." Mia chuckled. "He's a baby, Sophia, not a glass figurine. Go." Finally, with one last kiss to Ethan's tiny hand, Sophia allowed herself to leave. The venue took her breath away. The ballroom shimmered with crystal chandeliers and golden accents. A live string quartet played near the marble staircase, and waiters in white gloves carried trays of champagne. Women in glittering gowns laughed behind jeweled masks of makeup, while men in sharp tuxedos discussed mergers and investments like it was casual conversation. Sophia felt like an imposter. She kept to the edges, clutching her purse, trying not to draw attention. She reminded herself of Mia's words, "Smile. Blend in. No one will notice you." But then, she saw him. Adrian Blackwood. He stood near the grand staircase, talking to a group of executives. Even across the room, he was magnetic, tall, broad-shouldered, and impossibly refined in his tailored suit. His dark hair was perfectly combed back, his steel-gray eyes sharp and commanding. The very sight of him made her heart stutter. Sophia spun away, panic rising. She couldn't let him see her. Not here, not now. But fate wasn't so kind. "Excuse me," a familiar deep voice said behind her. Her breath caught. She turned slowly. Adrian was standing right in front of her, those piercing eyes locked on her face with recognition. For a moment, he looked almost surprised. "Sophia," his voice carried both disbelief and curiosity. "I didn't expect to see you here." Her lips parted, but words failed her. She forced a polite smile, fighting the tremor in her hands. Mr. Blackwood, it's been a while. Adrian tilted his head, studying her with unnerving intensity. A while, he repeated softly, as though testing the weight of the words. His gaze lingered, as if he was piecing together all the questions he wanted to ask. Before either of them could say more, a sudden commotion broke the tension. Sophia, it was Mia, rushing into the ballroom, her face pale with panic. She grabbed Sophia's arm, whispering urgently, "Come quickly, it's Ethan." The name sliced through the air like a knife. Adrian's expression shifted. "Ethan," he repeated sharply. "Who's Ethan?" Sophia froze. Her pulse hammered in her ears. She turned toward Mia, desperate to escape, but Adrian's hand shot out, catching her wrist. "You have a child." His voice was low, intense. Sophia swallowed hard, her throat tight with guilt and fear. "Yes, I have a son." His jaw tightened, his gray eyes narrowing with suspicion and something deeper. His voice dropped, raw and strained. "Why didn't you tell me before?"